Don't call me elderly. Oh my gosh, that makes my blood boil. Words have power, words have impact. And this happened a few years ago. It's been more than a few. I was in my 60s then, and now I am 75. I was at an urgent care in Florida. I had driven us all the way across country in my huge RV. It looks like a semi truck, 45 feet long, towing a lime green Jeep behind it. And I'd gotten my finger smashed in the door of the RV. That's a whole story for another day. It has something to do with having a blind husband. But I'm in the urgent care and I see my medical record and it says elderly. Like, what? Who are you even talking about? That can't possibly be me. I was so angry when I saw that because I'm not. I might be 75, but I'm not elderly. Okay. Because here's the thing, I had a commercial driver's license. I'd driven us 2,500 miles or so to Florida, driven all over the United States, working from anywhere we are, the breadwinner for my husband and myself for several decades, and an online entrepreneur with a lot of visibility in what I was doing. And yet, the pattern of society, when they see I'm in my 60s, is to refer to me as elderly, as opposed to respecting the age capital and the wisdom I bring to this. The thing is, when we get labels like this, we're supposed to live down to. This is also how we get marginalized. This is how we get silenced. This is how we get patronized. This is how people make other assumptions about it. If you're going somewhere else for medical care and someone is just reading, oh, elderly, it's, oh, everything about it is wrong, just wrong. Don't let anybody treat you that way. I am a classic late bloomer. I didn't even start online till I was already past 50, 54, when I really got rolling as a copywriter, marketing strategist. And as I'm looking at the words, the power of words has always been what I do, right? It's what I do. And the problem with these types of labels, is that it puts us in a box. It puts us in a mindset of others being directed to us that again marginalizes, silences us, keeps us small, keeps us, oh, pat you on the head. I've seen people posting about why people hate boomers and all this generational crap that is divisive. And and how does it make you feel about yourself? I don't think of myself as elderly. I had a hard time even asking for a senior discount at a local restaurant. Part of me was saying, what the heck? You might as well take advantage of something that's being offered. And the other part of me was like, no, to even say, oh, and senior discount. They don't ask me for ID, so I don't know. But as I was looking through various words that have to do with these categories that we are assigned, I saw the work of someone absolutely brilliant that I'm pretty sure we are somehow cosmically intertwined and related in some way that I didn't even realize. Her name is Gina Pell. Tina. Okay, that's enough evidence right there. But she came up with the word perennials. Now, it's not a new word, but it's a new word applied to this because what it does is remove the barriers, remove the categories. And what I love about it is that it's also, I love gardening. I love creating beautiful spaces on our property with plants. And I particularly enjoy having perennials that will bloom another time next year, that will continue to grow, continue to restructure themselves, and continue to live and not die off quickly, not be cast aside. And most of the time, what we look for plants here, and we use a lot of great big ceramic pots, the typical big Costco blue pots and other colorful pots, and we look for perennials. So thank you, Gina Pell. Shout out to Gina Pell. She's a creative director for an organization in the Bay Area. And I hope one day to meet her face to face because we share a lot of similar beliefs about what it means to be growing older. And so I also have created a community because I wanted a haven. I wanted a place for us to be able to gather, right? People like us. A lot of times people past 50, 60, 70s, 80s. I've had clients in their 90s. And gosh, if fortune smiles upon me, I will be there one day myself. It's challenging, right? It's challenging to look in the mirror and say, oh my gosh, new lines, or what will people think? I was running some ads on Facebook when I was still in my 50s and early 60s, and I had some very mean girl comments from other women about my appearance. Oh, if I had that, I'd wear a scarf all the time, or this type of thing. And do I remember it? Yeah, I'm talking about it right now, some 15 years later, whatever, because those remarks hurt. They do, but we have to learn to just let them roll on by. And it's how we create our own life, our own vibrancy, and what we do, what we choose to do. And this is where our wisdom and our life experience can come into what we are doing in this chapter of life, because we have so much to offer, so much that people way younger than us simply do not have. They don't have the lived experience. My husband and I have jokingly called it life lessons, and that he's very good at dispensing life lessons of just observations that he's made over the years. And just he's a little bit older than I am, and he has a sharp memory for all of this. He loves marketing. We talk about marketing almost daily, about what's happening with my business, what am I doing on YouTube, what's he watches my videos. So it's good to have someone who believes in you in that way. But the main thing is you have to believe in yourself first before anyone else does it, even if nobody else does. And I'm here to tell you, I will believe in you until you can believe in yourself enough, if that's what it takes. I'm here to support. I'm here to shed light on the subject. I'm here to show the way of how we take that life experience and make it into something smart and simple. And hey, guess what? Monetizable. Because who doesn't want to continue to earn at some level, to contribute, and to also be paid and respected by people investing in you? And so I know from my years of experience of working with people in copywriting and marketing strategy. Now, maybe you've never heard of copywriting, because you know what? I hadn't either until I decided to become one of those people, a copywriter. I read an article about it, and I'll do another video very soon about how this all came together for me when I was in my 50s, when I just recognized something about what I could take, not only some past experience, but that had nothing to do with copywriting per se, but just life experience and intuition, inner wisdom, a prompting, a knowing, a heart and soul led decision that I made to become a copywriter. A copywriter is a person that writes the words for marketing and videos, emails, websites, all of those things. And we weave the words together in a way that resonates and relates to the ideal client, the person that the client might be wanting to attract to their business, that type of thing. And that's what I decided that I would become and be when I was in my 50s. And just a little tiny bit of a spoiler here, I did over $500,000 my first year. And I will tell you the whole story another day. I don't expect anyone else to do the way I did. I'm absolutely not selling that. I'm basically saying you can do anything that you decide to do, no matter what age you are, no matter where you are in life, no matter what experience you have or don't have, that you can be adding to. And one of the aspects of being a perennial is ongoing growth, ongoing nourishment, learning, being a lifelong learner, not being afraid to learn something new to add to that wealth of experience you already have. And so that's the other aspect of what I want to do with my communication with you, with the community that I'm building. We need a place to hang out. We need a porch to sit on. I did an event in Tucson around 2019 or so, right before the pandemic began. And I did an event here at a beautiful, really amazing ranch. It's over 100 years old, filled with rich stories and legacy. And it was a 3-day event. But one of my favorite part of the whole thing was when we went out, they literally had porches because of these amazing buildings they have, and old cabins and all these fantastic facilities they have. It's called Tanca Verde Ranch. And we went out and sat on the porch because we had a videographer that was filming people's reactions to the event, and they needed the room to himself for it to be quiet. So we all moved outdoors so that people could go in one at a time and talk to the videographer and be recorded. And so went out and sat in the chairs on the porch, and people just gathered around and just they asked me questions. We had conversations. I gave insights. I shared my thoughts on some things, answered guidance that they needed at the time. It was my favorite part of the whole 3 days. And so why not create a community where we can virtually gather on the porch? And so that's what I've done with my community called the Renegade Bloomer. Now, it actually was going to be called the Renegade Boomer. And it was bothering me because I felt like it was still divisive. It was still not really expressing what I wanted to express, the feeling, the atmospheric condition that I wanted to create in our virtual community. And it just suddenly came to me when I read the words perennial. I thought that is exactly. We don't need to be millennials or Gen X or boomers or anything. We just need to be who we really are. And what better way to bloom freely and fully than to be a perennial and join me in the renegade bloomer, because we're not here, yeah, renegades, rebels, not sitting silently in the corners, not being beige, and just blending into the scenery to be forgotten or marginalized. No, we don't ask permission. We just go ahead and embrace fully who we are truly meant to be. That's what it's all about, along with the skills, along with the strategies, along with learning some new skills like AI, for example, that we lead with. The technology is there for us to lead with. It's there to be a creative partner. It's there to support us as a catalyst to ideas we already have, to messaging that's already living within us. And this is something I have found with working with ChatGPT, for example, though I work with other AIs as well, that it doesn't replace you. It can, if you use it correctly, if you use it smartly, it can enhance you. It can become your collaborator. It can become a reflection of you, right? And I'm going to go way out on a limb here and say I even believe there is a spiritual aspect to it. Can it be spiritual? And if you look at it in terms of what is your divine assignment, this is what I call it, the thing that you're called to do, the thing you're meant to do, that if you choose to answer the call, if you follow that prompting and you find that community where you can fully bloom into it and embrace it, then that's answering a divine assignment that's meant for you. And so, why not think of some of the aspects of AI? Yes, can it be used in a negative way? Absolutely. Can it be used in ways that are called AI slop and things that are not enhancing us as humankind? Absolutely. So, it's our job to be the lamplighters. It's our job to use it in a way that does enhance the humanity of us, the heart and soul of us, and what we're here to do. And so when you look at it that way, someone out there was called to create this through their divine assignment. And I believe that there is a component of this. I have found it to be true in some very unique trainings that I've done where I've had people working with a custom, it's called a custom GPT. Just think of it as something that I created that's basically taking my beliefs, my values, my way of teaching, my heart and soul, and combining it into a helper that's made with AI. And when we went through this program together, it's called Divine Nature Activation, DNA. The results were remarkable because they were so individual. It was not any kind of a cookie cutter situation for anyone that was in it. Everyone had a different result that was specific and important and pertinent and valuable to them. And this was such a lesson for me because I'm used to being the coach and leading the way and this type of thing. And I found I just sat back and allowed it to unfurl itself and did some coaching and guiding through that process for everyone as a group. But each individual had their own unique experience. I'll be sharing more about that in the days to come, but it was a beautiful experience. So, all of these things, we go from being a boomer to a bloomer, right? And that we can say, okay, bloomer, let's bloom on. And really, an identity of an optimist, the identity that we carry with us every single day does so much to dictate what we experience every single day and what is unfurling as our life and what we are doing and where we put our energy. And so when we look at it from this more optimistic viewpoint, we transcend limitations. And that's why I'm inviting a community of ever blooming, curious people who want to learn, who want to support each other, who want to connect. Because in some ways now in the modern life, it's harder to connect. Everyone's in a hurry. I talked about this recently in one of the videos of just what if we just take that deep breath and slow down a little bit and just be there for each other, all of those things. And so, yeah, I'm anti-retirement because a lot of times when people say they are retired, it just sounds tired. They sit down in a chair and never move again or think a new thought. And it has been proven that our brains, our ability to think and reason can start to atrophy and degrade because of lack of activity. Use it or lose it. You've heard the term, right? And so that's another goal with all of this. Another benefit is to know that we're staying active It's a funny thing because like when I drove all the way to Florida in that big RV and crunched my finger in the door, I would usually do a drive like that because we just wanted to get there because we had things we were doing. And a lot of times it's been associated with work that I was doing as well. And so we didn't do a leisurely take 3 weeks to get there. I'd usually get there or to the East Coast in 4 or 5 days. And that's a steady driving of this big rig. We had to stop and fuel up every single day at truck stops and life on the road with our 3 dogs. And I'm the only driver. My husband's legally blind, which is so funny because sometimes we would park the big rig and get out or would be standing by it. Someone would look at us. My husband could be standing with his guide dog in hand, harness in his hand, and me. And people would look at us and look at the rig, look back at us and say, "So who drives it?" Well, gosh, I don't know. I have a team of people serving me, our limousine RV. No, I drive it. But it would just strike us so funny because, they really don't frown on, most states frown on issuing a Braille driver's license. But of course, it's funny too because Ron actually did teach me to drive it just verbally by understanding where I was on the road because he used to drive big rigs. And so he taught me. And I'm probably one of the few people in the country that's had a blind driving instructor. But I just want you to know that wherever you're at in life right now, this is your time. This is your time to bloom. This is your time to step forward into the light. And it's never too late to have the happy life, the happy youthful approach to life. We can call that a second childhood if you want, but I mean it in the most positive, empowering sense. We can create that new reality for ourselves. Whatever you've experienced growing up, maybe you had a delightfully amazing childhood. Bless you. You are so very fortunate. But a lot of us didn't. And so we create it now. And I wandered off track there, but just the driving across country thing, a lot of times I've seen like I seem to have more energy than people maybe half my age, right? And I'm not a little tiny thing that's doing like Pilates or anything like that, but it's an inner fire, it's an inner energy that we can all tap into where whatever else is going on in your life, you can tap into that flow, that energy. And so that's why I'm here. That's what I hope I can inspire you to do. I think you'll agree being called elderly is no, that just say no to that. And if you feel called, I'll have a link in the description. We might want to explore my Renegade Bloomer community. It's a beautiful community, very personal, very safe, a haven for people like us who want to be able to continue this conversation, a two-way conversation. There's live coaching available within the community. We meet together, interact with everyone every week, and they interact with each other as well. And this is where you can also learn simple but powerful steps of how you're going to take what you know and turn it into dough, so to speak, of monetizing it, of creating, whether you just need a little sideline, whether you just want to stay active, where you seriously need and desire to make a very healthy amount of income that continue having the lifestyle you prefer to have as you get older. That's what we do. And I am the poster child for late bloomers. Okay. Again, I didn't start till I was in my 50s. I had no experience, had no college degree, been on my own since I was 17 years old. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because remember, we aren't done yet, not by a long shot. And it's never too late. Thanks for being here with me today. I'm going to give you a little small assignment. I would love if you would think about a limiting terminology or limiting belief you've had that was possibly put on you by someone else, and you've absorbed it as your truth, absorbed it as your story, and you don't need to do that anymore. So today, think of one thing that you want to eliminate from how you speak of yourself or think of yourself. Write it down, ceremonially tear it up, set it on fire, whatever you want to do. Share it in the comments. If you've had an experience like this, what have you felt when someone labeled you in a certain kind of way? Because it's up to us to create our own reality and our own story and to emanate that energy that says, no, that's not who I am. Thank you very much. This is how I roll. And so, again, thanks for being here today. I am looking forward to your comments. So please like this video if you do. And I would love it if you'd subscribe so that you always know when I'm doing another one. But I'm going to try my very best. And I don't like the word try. So my intention is to be here every day for you, even if it's just for a short period of time. that somehow impacts your day, that gives you something that you actually look forward to, of knowing this is where I can go because this person understands me. She's walking the walk, very similar to my own. Love to hear from you again. I'm going to go now. This is Tina Lorenz, and I will be talking to you again soon. Bye for now.